This week with TinJon06.
Got a lot of things to talk about. All the things that you've been told. I know you thought about walking out. You're a pretty girl, and those glasses never lie. Only too much to change the way you see it. You don't really gotta work it out. Find out what you want to see. Give you something you can talk about with all those so-called friends who can fix a plastic smile. Only too much to change the way you see it.
Hello, it's me, it's TinJon06, and welcome to this live stream of This Week with TinJon06. Time check is 5:40 p.m. From now on, I have an announcement, okay? From now on, we are going to broadcast This Week with TinJon06 at least 5 p.m. or latest 5:30 p.m. Just like I started the stream at 5:30 p.m. today. Alright, so let's transition already for some of the tech news I discovered in this week. There are at least two tech news that we are going to, going to discuss for today. And also, there will be an opinion for today and a tour of a retro operating system, which is Windows 98. On a virtual machine. So let's get this started. Alright, so let me transition for a while here in the live and content. Okay. Alright. So here we go, Linux gamers. Right. So any Linux gamers out there or Linux users out there. So Linux gamers, according to itsfoss.com, Linux gamers can finally play games like Apex Legends, Fortnite, thanks to easy anti-cheat support. So if the game is supports it has a easy anti-cheat, you can now play those games because it is now supported on Linux. So, people, all right. So any Linux gamers out there? So, according here, Epic Games adds complete Linux support for its easy anti-cheat service, along with the official Steam Play or Proton and Wine compatibility. Even though we expected this to happen sometime in the future, the introduction of Steam Deck changed the scene for gaming on Linux. So if you aren't aware, Steam Deck is powered by Linux, which is why Epic Games was interested in expanding support to the Linux platform. So right. So safe to say, if this wasn't for Valve's effort with Steam Deck, the chances of getting easy anti-cheat support on Linux were not good. So people, easy anti-cheat is present in Fortnite and Apex Legends, and also some of the games in Steam, like for example Friday the 13th, the game. Yeah, I played that. I played that game. So, alright. Multiplayer gamers, you can consider switching to Linux if you don't like Windows. So, alright. So, with easy anti-cheat support, many popular multiplayer titles like Apex Legends, Fortnite, Tom Clancy's Division 2, Rust, and many other games will flawlessly on Linux, as long as you have a decent graphics card for that and properly installed drivers, because I think Linux is really configurable, right? Because it's open source. Starting with the latest SDK release, developers can activate anti-cheat support for Linux via Wine or Proton with just a few clicks in the Epic Online Services Developer portal. So, right. So, in conclusion, you can now play your Apex Legends, Fortnite, Rust, Division 2, and many other games that uses easy anti-cheat on Linux. So Linux users rejoice, but I'm not a Linux user, so but I virtualize Linux. I'm going to show you what Linux I have on my virtual machine. Yeah. Alright. So next tech news for today is, so according to Android Authority, an Android version of Wallpaper Engine is coming soon. Alright. If you like animated wallpapers, an Android version of Wallpaper Engine is coming your way in the next few weeks. So, alright. What are your opinions about having a live wallpaper on your phones? So imagine this, that you have a decent phone with a live wallpaper in it. Wait, do you use a live wallpaper? Do you use live wallpaper? That's the question. Do you use live wallpaper, everyone? By the way, my phone does have an option to do a live wallpaper. Any Android phones actually can have an option of doing a live wallpaper, but the caveat of that is having a live wallpaper can seep your battery life out of it. So it is really a resource intensive stuff, live wallpapers. So let's go back here. So an Android version of the popular PC wallpaper app, Wallpaper Engine, is quote unquote coming soon. I have a wallpaper engine here on my PC. Most likely in October or early November, so according to the namesake developer. The app will serve as a free extension of the $4 Windows software, letting people transfer their desktop collections to Android phones and tablets via a local Wi-Fi network. The wallpaper engine team says via its Steam page there won't be any ads or in-app purchases. That's right. But the link with the Windows app is necessary since Android users can't access Steam Workshop add-ons directly. That's true. Because Steam Workshop doesn't work on Android. Or there's no Steam Workshop on Android, so yeah. So, alright. Wallpapers sent to Android devices will also need to be converted into mobile compatible format, but it still be dynamic, complete with customizable settings such as speed and colors. In fact, music visualizers are making the cut as well. Wow. Which could make for some particularly impressive home screens, but yeah. People worried about the performance or battery life will be able to toggle features like frame rate caps. So yeah, the Android port is said to be intensive undertaking, but an obvious next step given Android's large user base. I mean. The work done is expected to lay the ground for any future potential ports, though only real option in that regard are Mac and Linux. iOS and iPadOS have extremely limited customization options. Yeah, that's right. So well, in a way that in iOS that they have a a customizable, not a customizable, but there is a dynamic wallpaper in iPad and iOS and iPadOS, just like this one. I don't have a dynamic wallpaper here set because it's visual after all. So but you can set a dynamic wallpaper and that's it. It's the dynamic wallpaper. It's not really customizable in iPadOS or iOS. But in Android, having a live wallpaper with customizable elements, wow, I mean, the only concern here is the battery life itself. And yeah. The main concern is battery life. What are your opinions about having wallpaper engine on Android? So, are you going to download it? And do you have a wallpaper engine on Android? That's the opinion for today. Do you have a... No, that's not the exactly opinion for today, but what are your opinions about having wallpaper engine on Android? Is it somehow good, or that will be pointless since battery life is an issue? I would like to try that if if the developers of wallpaper engine will release that application, and I would love to try that because I have a wallpaper engine on my PC, and let's try that on Android and see what we got. Okay, that's for our tech news for today. And our opinion for today is I posted something on HoYoLab, and let me get that to you in a moment. This is an interesting one because it has already 294 views in HoYoLab. Alright. Okay, let's do this. So alright, I posted this on HoYoLab, people. Yep. Entitled Looking Like with RTX. And I said here that here's some before and after. So this is the before before applying the filter, and this one is after applying the filter. So we have just like have an HDR look here, and we have just like an RTX effect here. Thank you to Reddit, to a user in Reddit that uses this game filter. I said it here. This was filtered using NVIDIA Freestyle on GeForce Experience, since Genshin Impact is already is now compatible with NVIDIA Freestyle, and again, this is the filtered version and this is the unfiltered version. So one Majincool, username Majincool said here, their version of Unity needs to be updated first to support HDRP. What is HDRP, people? It is high definition render pipeline. So if you're not familiar with HDRP, this is a new feature on Unity that is it is an experimental version. I mean, in Unity 2019, it is an experimental feature, HDRP. And I will go to that Unity page. I have here the Unity page about the high definition render pipeline here. So, when they developed Genshin Impact back in and before 2017, alright, they were using a Unity version that wasn't made for RTX, because they use Unity 2017. And the one with the RTX ready version is again Unity 2019 or above. So the current latest Unity version is 2021.2b, which has an experimental DLL support. And the latest stable build is 2020.3.0. Actually, it's not. It's 2021 point something. Let me check on Wikipedia what is the latest version of Unity engine, because they had that here. Yeah, its stable release is 2021.1.22. It was released on September 22, 2021. So it is 3 days ago. So Unity 2021 is still, it is still the latest version of Unity. So the problem is that since they are using a very outdated Unity engine version, it is not going to be easy to migrate over without figuring out what the new engine is going to break. That's right. So I once coded a Unity game before, and I used an outdated version of Unity back then. I used Unity 2016, and then I migrated to Unity 2018, and then something broke. Gladly, that project is not too, it's not too big, but still something broke. So I replied to the user. I replied Majincool like this: yeah, it will be a ton of recoding, that's true. Or maybe a ton of debugging, that's true. It can be considered in the long term if they are willing to do it though. So, okay. So, let's go with what is Unity's high definition render pipeline, or HDRP. So, HDRP is built using Unity's scriptable render pipeline. So it has two pre-built SRPs, the HDRP and the Universal Render Pipeline. Each render pipeline targets a specific set of use cases and hardware needs. So with an SRP, you can control and tailor rendering via C# scripts. So you can either slightly modify or completely rebuild and customize the render pipeline according to your needs. So yeah, according to Unity, it is a massive advance in graphical realism with fully fully unified, physically base rendering, and uncompromising GPU performance. So HDRP is tailor-made for ambitious high-fidelity productions. So it targets high-class hardware. So HDRP targets high-end hardware such as PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. You are able to achieve realistic graphics in demanding scenarios. So HDRP uses compute shader technology and takes advantage of the GPU hardware. So use HDRP to create high-fidelity games, automotive demos, architectural applications, and anything that prioritizes graphics quality. So HDRP or SRP ship to current generation consoles and modern PC hardware. So HDRP offers a technological leap in graphical realism and advances in usability. So it is designed to benefit games shipping on the current generation consoles and modern PC hardware. So HDRP was an experiment feature on 2019.3 of Unity Engine. So the first version of HDRP is on Unity 2019.3. But Genshin Impact uses Unity 2017. So right. So our opinion for today is, do you want a version of Genshin Impact to support, or do you want MiHoYo to support or migrate its Genshin Impact to at least Unity 2020 or 2021 and use HDRP, or maybe add some DLSS support in the future? Do you consider that, or do you want MiHoYo to consider that adding HDRP to their game? Because it is possible, but it takes a ton of recoding and debugging, because it might break something if they try to migrate that game, or they try to migrate Genshin Impact in a newer version of Unity without it might break something. So that's our opinion for today, and yeah, what are your thoughts about that? So live viewers and replay viewers out there, what are your thoughts about that? Having MiHoYo to consider migrating Genshin Impact to a newer version of Unity Engine, at least 2020 or 2021. So, right? So, I will be waiting for your opinion on that on the comment section below or in the live chat. So, alright. So, let's go to the final bit of this week's edition of This Week with TinJon06, everyone. So we are going to, so alright, so here's my Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. Alright, I have two operating systems here, which is Ubuntu 20.10, which is powered off at the moment, and also Windows 98 SE or second edition. It is also powered off at the moment. But we're gonna take a look on Windows 98 SE. So let's start the virtual machine. Here we go. Alright, it is now starting. There you go. Come on. There you go. Alright, so here's the network password for Microsoft Networking. Let me type that. And that is the startup sound of Windows 98. It's so nostalgic. And this is the desktop. So luckily we have an opaque window movement. So what is an opaque window movement? I'll show you what is an opaque window movement. So an opaque window movement is like this. Look. So I'm moving the window here. Just like that the window is redraws instantly, like that. It's opaque window movement. But in Windows 98, there's none of that opaque window movement. So it has a wireframe here, and then it moves the windows or draws the window there. So that's not an opaque window movement. So in Windows 98, there's none of that. Oh yeah. So there is also a animation when you minimize. This is the primitive animation of minimizing a program like that. There you go. There you go. And even maximizing the program like this. There you go. That's the animation. The old animation. Yeah. That's it. And also this has a, by the way, this virtual machine has internet. So let's go to Internet Explorer. Oh boy. All right. So this is Internet Explorer. It is using Internet Explorer 5. All right. It is a version 5.0.2614.3500. Copyright 1995 to 1999 Microsoft Corporation. It has Windows Update here, but let's face it, it's not. Look at that. It's not loading anymore because Windows or Microsoft discontinued Windows Update for Windows 98 a long time ago. Look at that. Alright, let's close that because we're not getting somewhere. So here is google.com on Internet Explorer 5. So it is a Windows 98 after all. There you go. But yeah, this is using HTTP instead of HTTPS because HTTPS is not supported here. See, if you do some HTTPS browsing here, we're not going somewhere. So we are using HTTP or the unsecured hypertext transfer protocol. So it loads images like this. Yeah, this is the desktop, and by the way, I have the same wallpaper as my Windows 11. So this is the run program. Oh yeah, there is a DX diag here, and the DX diag here is like this. So primitive. So you could in Windows 98 you can see the DirectX files here. We have the DX media files here. In Windows in Windows NT, you cannot see these files in the DX diag anymore. Yeah, these are the drivers. They have .drv instead of .sys or .sys DirectX drivers. Alright, so we have the display here. We have we have no direct 3D, so we cannot play games here. And because this is a virtual machine at all, so we can't play games here. So direct sound. Oh, I think this is still in Windows, in the present version of Windows, direct sound, I think. But I could assure that there is no direct music in the latest versions of Windows. We have Direct Play. This is another deprecated DirectX feature, Direct Play. And wow, huh? So Windows 98 Direct DX Diag has a troubleshooter. Wow, I mean, we don't see that anymore in Windows 11, 10, 8.1, 8, in Windows NT. We don't have like this. We don't have this in Windows NT. So right, so this is Windows 98, people. This is the old volume control. So let's adjust the volume here like this. So all right. Preferred device. Refresh. And these are the properties. What is the resolution that I'm using right now? It's 1280 by 1024. This is a 4:3 aspect ratio. And it has true color, 32-bit. I set it that way because it supports true color. Yeah, so do you want to see a blue screen of that here? All right. So in order to crash this system, before that, let's log off and see and hear the shutdown or the log off sound. I sure want to log off. There you go. And that's the sound of logging off. All right. So let's crash this baby up. So all you have to do is type run. So we have the run here, right? And then type con/con /con. So if you enter that, it will trigger a blue screen of death. So this is the blue screen of death of Windows 98, people. There you go. A fatal exception, 0E has occurred at code and VXDVFAT01. So that's it. And I will I will send Control-Alt-Delete to this system to restart the computer. Oh no. Let's send Control-Alt-Delete. There you go. Okay, Microsoft ScanDisk. So we are restarting Windows 98. So you already see the So that is the blue screen of that in Windows 9X series. So I have a video of the history of blue screen of death on TinJon's Tech Talk on this channel. So I'm going to link that on the description, or maybe you could watch that on my channel. So yeah, so let's shut down this baby up, and then by the way, Windows 9X series is still based on MS-DOS. So you could restart the system in MS-DOS mode, and you could play MS-DOS games in this baby. So all right, let's shut down the Windows 98 virtual machine. Oh, Windows protection error. I don't know how to repair that, but okay. Yeah. So that's our so that is our edition for this week's edition of This Week's with TinJon06. So we had two tech news and opinion for today. So what are your opinions on that? Genshin migrating on new version of Unity? Okay. And we, you know, what do you call this? We had a software tour of the Windows 98 second edition, and you did see a blue screen of death of Windows 98 or Windows 9X in general. All right. So that's it for me, and this is this week's edition of This Week with TinJon06. And it's me, it's TinJon06. See you on the next one. As the Rec Hulkum Eventi. Ciao!